Hello, welcome to Juniper Level Botanic Garden, the home of Plant Delights Nursery. Let's look at some angel's trumpets. There are at least two genera of plants with the common name of angel's trumpets, and they happen to be very closely related genera. They are the Brugmansias and Daturas. This is an example of Brugmansia. Brugmansia is commemorating somebody with the family name of Brugman. I don't know the derivation of Datura, but they differ in a number of ways. The Daturas have flowers that face upward or largely upward when they're in bloom. Every Datura I've seen is the flowers are more pendant, though they do they're sort of half open at this time of the day, but come early evening they open up fully and rise up a little bit. And the Datura flowers just last one night. They open about 7 o'clock. They're open all night. They're still open in the morning. On a cloudy day, they might last a good part of the morning, but then they finish, and that was their one day of glory. The Brugmansia flowers last several days, and some of them go through a series of color changes. Most of the Brugmansias in gardens are hybrids between a number of wild species, and one of the wild species is Brugmansia mutabilis. And mutabilis means to change, as in mutation. So they might open pale yellow and then turn pink, or some color change like that. And indeed, this one down there that is just starting to open is fairly yellow and then becomes a pink color. But the flowers last about 3 days. Many of them have been blooming on and off for a couple of months, but they don't bloom continuously. They'll have big flushes, and in the fall is usually when we have the biggest flush of blooms, as we do today. Really ought to do this video at about 7 in the evening or so, but you can see quite a few flowers. In a frost-free climate, they're large shrubs. In our climate, and we've grown them for decades, so going back to when we were the hardiness zone of 7B, we're now 8A, they were winter hardy, but they always died to the ground once we've had a hard frost. But then they return in the spring, and maybe about midsummer or so they'll start blooming. Some selections start earlier than others, and some of the breeding work, I understand, has been focused on developing selections that start blooming earlier. They can be white. There's one species, Brugmansia sanguinea, that has red flowers. Sanguinea as in red, like red blood cells. And then mutabilis brings in yellows and reds, and not reds, but oranges and pinks. Pretty much every floral color except blue. But let's step over here and meet a double white one. Oh, and I failed to say that selection over there is Pat's Pink. And this is one that we merely call double white. And if you look at the flower, it's sort of hose and hose. One trumpet inside another trumpet, and looks like almost no, it's just two trumpets. And because it's been blooming heavily for about a week, we have some older flowers that are now going by, some that are just going to open for the first time this evening, and they are still sort of yellowish, will turn white this evening. and then some that are sort of at the perfect stage right now. This plant is quite a bit more compact than Pat's Pink. But they're easy if you live in a part of the country that's too cold for them to overwinter in the ground. They're easy to overwinter as a houseplant. I've known people to take sections of the stem, put it in a plastic bag and put it in the refrigerator for the winter and then pull it out and root it next spring. You can stick the stems directly in the ground. And I've rooted stems that are as heavy as this, so even the big old heavy stems will root. It's a very easy plant to root. You can grow them in full sun, but they don't need sun all day. In just average soil, I don't think they would tolerate a soggy soil. Well, thank you for your time today, and I hope to see you again in the garden.